Well, somebody's in a hurry to get home as we're already jumping into map number 2. That said, obviously MVP came in with a 1-map advantage, so it is 2-0 already. As MVP take on TYLOO here, they only need to win this 1 map or one of the next 3 to knock them out of the qualifier and push MVP all the way over to ESL 1 Cologne. My name is Mitch and I'm going to be taking you through what could be the final map and up to the next 3 of them. As we jump on into things, TYLOO were already coming in with a little bit of utility and a kit, but MVP and the superior utility to be deployed. Already throwing it over towards the A bomb site and making their way out. You got to be careful here because attacker's up close, hiding in the corner. He's going to be a big impact player if he's left unchecked, but the flashbang is perfect. Stops anybody in the bomb site from doing anything. So that is a little bit awkward into a 4v2. TYLOO already landing themselves a retake situation with the kit in play. Do they want to go for it? Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they saved at this point. They've got some util, they've got armor, they've got a kit. MVP have got the positions, they've got the time on their side. I think now, having left it so long to push out, having played so cold-footed, it's time to get out of there. Taking the fights as well. I mean, it's just not going to work out for you at this point. Even the save looks unlikely and almost impossible. Oh, Summer gets himself 2, looking for even more. Not going to find it, as eventually he's taken down. And we got invisible guns, so I'll be back, bringing us back. Perfect. We're back on into it. Apologies for that. We had a little bit of a bug, but it's fixed now as MVP are 1-0 up. They're looking good, they're feeling good, and let's see if they're doing good as TYLOO actually decide to force buy. And on the CT side of Inferno, that's a decision that doesn't get overlooked all too often. There's so many close range angles for you to find, for you to play from, that it is generally going to be worthwhile taking out those pistols and seeing if you can get the damage done with them. Needs to go down towards Banana early on, but nothing to be connected as MVP with full HP and 5 players start to make their way towards A. Not fully committing by any means, but they'll see if they can find some kills. Summer is known to be over towards Longest. He drops the smoke towards the middle area. Bomb going to be retrieved by HSK. And MVP, again, they are taking things very slowly, offering lots of opportunities for TYLOO to rotate to A, but it looks like this has been sold as somewhat of a fake, with only one small amount of utility being used towards A. TYLOO evidently assume that this is just supposed to bait them in, rotate them to A so B can be taken. That's not the case, though. As already, we are going to see the push coming in. Summer actually manages to find one, swings out for more, but it should be very unlikely that that comes through. MVP dug into their positions, and TYLOO could decide to go for a save here. It's very possible, but it doesn't look like they want to. Coming in for the retake with a man advantage in play, they believe they've got the superiority in terms of positioning and manpower. The bomb over towards the bomb site isn't exactly in an ideal position either, but as the kills go down, it's all left over to Sign. He's trying to clutch it out with a Mac-10. He knows the final player could be on the bomb, so he's going to make a move quite quickly, but he just assumes it's going to be a fake. Excure comes over, Deagle in hand, low HP on Sign, and wins it out. Defuse more than possible within the time frame. Right? Oh, no! Never mind. That I just did a Dean. More than enough time. That's a little bit shocking. I mean, with less than half a second left on the clock, he fails to get the defuse in, leaving MVP over with a second round. They have taken a lot of casualties, but TYLOO lose everything. And just on the lack of having a kit as well. That's a pretty depressing way to lose. I mean, they took SMGs out. They could have had kits instead of util. That said, I think that everything they had was necessary to find all the kills. They came in finding themselves the obviously the util used over towards the bomb site. They had the smokes, the flashbangs that allowed them to close in the distance towards the bomb site itself and capitalize on the players that were already on site, closing off the pit players. And the surprising thing about that is, with the music kits in play, obviously I don't have a music kit on, because can't show favoritism towards certain kits. But If you have a music kit enabled, you can hear when it's going down. So he should have heard the music start playing before he went for the defuse. Unless he just doesn't play with it. In which case, on lookout. Summer's in a little bit of danger here. Yeah, as he dies, it should just be... I mean... Should they save it? I don't know. They have P250s, but the idea being just not to give over anything to the to the T side. In terms of... If they hunt down, if they get killed by the UMP, well then that's lots of money saved over for MVP. And the other thing as well, if MVP decide to hunt down, they have the potential to maybe take one of them out. And possibly pick up their weapon. So I was thinking maybe they'd just save over towards Banana and set up a crossfire, but shifting towards the T spawn, it's a much more passive save than we normally see come through. MVP for a majority actually sitting over towards pit. They have no time now, so they'll have to save over in the corner. With one going through CT. So I think the idea here was that hopefully we would see TYLOO. Oh. Okay. Okay. I think the idea was that hopefully we'd see TYLOO catching an exit as the players pushed back out, but that wasn't the case, obviously. As they exited elsewhere and stayed on the bomb site. Without armor, they obviously thought that they were safe. Because usually if you don't have armor, you're not saving anyways, so you're not used to how far away the bomb can kill you. That's a little bit unfortunate. That's only P250's loss, though. It doesn't really matter. Again, the idea, looking for a little bit of damage on the exits and stopping them from getting extra money. That's really the only objective. As we come into this round, this is where things should get a little bit more interesting. MVP have got their full buy, but so too do TYLOO, investing all of their economy right now to try and get the round on the board. As somebody catches one on the exit, he should be safe. The spams from his teammates certainly helping out and getting him back over towards the top of Banana without being taken down. 5 versus 4, MVP. Have a choice to make now with the man disadvantage in play. Where do they want to take things? Unable to trade out their teammate earlier on. So it puts them in a bit of a deficit. But they are going to come towards Banana. And this is where things could get scary for Bentet. As he swings on out. Okay, finds one. Doesn't even need to peek. He could have been running into 3 players if he ran towards the edge of the wall just a second later. But as he gets taken out, shooting a player in the ass. It will be a fairly decent round for them already. I mean, you're looking at a 3 versus 2 take of the B bomb site. They have no idea where the CTs are. Those Molotovs, though, are really good. We've seen this from MVP before. Pushing the players out into the open. And the kills on the back of it. HSK and Sign getting the bomb planted as well. And this is really nice for them now. Caught behind the smokes, the CTs shouldn't be able to do all too much for the next 5 seconds or so. It buys them time to set up. Setting 2 players towards Banana, that's a little bit risky because as the smokes go in, you've got one on the bomb site completely isolated. That's Sign. He's taken down. No trades now possible, but they're going to boost up. Oh, no. And they stopped the bomb, but what is that push through the smoke? He obviously thought that someone was still defusing the bomb. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case, so just ran through the smoke for nothing. This attacker is going to be able to get the defuse in eventually. This time, there's definitely plenty of time. Three to 1, and a pause comes through. Just checking who the pause is from here. That's going to be an MVP tech pause. That's what we love to hear. It doesn't last too long, though. It'll be over fairly soon. Just one of the players DCing. I was tabbed out, so I couldn't see that, obviously. Obviously, it's a tech if you've only got 4 players. And what are they going to be rolling with when he comes back? 5k on the majority. Looking towards an AK buy with full util should be very much possible. TYLOO at the moment. I think it's important that MVP buy because you don't want TYLOO to build up a strong economy. You don't want them to have the ability to just lose a round and keep buying because it's important on the T side to capitalize on these rounds. And they're already up 3 to 1, so MVP can afford to be a little bit aggressive with their economic management, having a lead on the T side early on. We're all back in the server, ready to roll. And so we should be jumping on into it in just a second. 3-1. MVP come in with full AKs, full utility. Finally, their technical issues are resolved. Asian internet doesn't seem to be the best over this weekend. It's been up and down, primarily down. TYLOO as well. They've been the serious victims of internet issues. But as we roll on into this, let's hope they're not the serious victims of the AKs, as they've only got one round on the board, and it's pretty important for them that they connect this. If they don't, they'll be on an eco straight afterwards, and so MVP could potentially get themselves up to 5 rounds within the first 6. MVP starting to locate themselves over towards the A-bomb site. They're gravitating there. Chilling in. Someone wants to see the scoreboard. There you go. You got it, boy. I should probably do that in the pauses. I'm just not used to it. I usually just cast. I don't produce. I'm sorry. TYLOO have 2 players on the bomb side itself. One holding over towards long. Fairly standard from them. You're relying on the AWP hitting his shots. Excurate manages to hit a leg, but that might not help out too much. It's pushing over towards him on very close terms at the minute. He's not going to find anything, but his teammates are there to trade it back. Fancy Summers already found 3, and this is it for MVP. 1 player left versus 3. Sign picks up 1. Takes attacker out of the picture over towards the bomb site itself. Picks up the bomb, but as he retreats over towards the bomb site, Bentet's there. Smoke dissipating and finds the kill. Stops the bomb plant from even going in, leaving MVP over to absolutely no money. And what should be an eco, allowing TYLOO to really get themselves back into this game. Another pause comes through. Hopefully a tactical. Yeah, this time it's a tactical for MVP. A weird time to call it tactical, though. Like, look at their money. I guess they want to decide what pistols they buy, but I mean, what most teams would prefer to do is just play this round out as an eco and use the actual round as a tactical, so that if you need them a little bit later on, you'll still have an extra one. And again, I mean, I should get a ticker for how many times teams are buying after time. This, I mean, hold on. Check admin chat. This is live. 1 minute 40. 1 minute 40! This is a new record for the Asian qualifier of when teams have bought and left the spawn. They not only did they have ages, but they also had the pause as well as the freeze time. They still didn't buy. I don't get it. It's a small, like, it's such a small detail, but I really just don't get it. I feel like they called that tactical pause to go get a drink of water or something. Because you only get, I think it's 30 seconds an attack. A technical pause can be however long you want. But you can't call it technical pause because you need water. The only point of damage done to the CT side was by a teammate. Ooh, but not anymore. Damage at least going to be connected by the T side, although they shouldn't get too much more. You're dropping 1 weapon, which is a valuable enough dent into the CT side economy. We're on 3-3. TYLOO have to reinvest it onto somebody. The player. Not an obscure term. Which at least leaves him on low money if they lose this round, and so it's a tiny upside, but excuse me, but unlike in most maps, like on Inferno, you're expecting the CT side to take a force buy. If you only have 1 player that's unable to afford a rifle and utility, that will probably come through. MVP are angling towards B, getting a little bit of aggression. Oh, Zeph doesn't know he's in a Molotov. Someone needs to tell him he's standing in there. He's burnt alive. HSK's taken Zeta down through a wall bang. What's happened here? How have they done this? A 2-man disadvantage. Well, 2 men dead on the T side. It's only a 1-man disadvantage as they did manage to find the kill onto somebody. But you're having a player standing inside a Molotov, a team kill as well. This is a top quality round here from MVP. I don't think they're going to be winning it. 2v4. 2 AKs in play. A little bit of utility to work with. You got a smoke, 3 flashbangs as well. But even with all those nades rotating around, it's going to be a difficult one to pull it out of the bag. "40 seconds on the clock." I thought they were rotating to B, but going into the T spawn certainly does look like they're saving. Either that or they don't know you can't plant the bomb there. With time running out, time dissipating and running out of the clock, it's going to be another round for the CT side. And again, only somebody dies. I mean, he's not having a good time. He's the victim of every single round, it seems. But with Sign and Staxo not having money, you imagine a force buy will come through from MVP. See, now's the kind of time you could definitely use attack pause to figure out exactly how you want to invest your cash. Full armor coming out, pistols, lots of nades as well that take place. And the CT side's utility belt, but for TYLOO, you can see the economy's built up. Somebody on, even though he's died 2 rounds in a row, he's on 1850, which isn't the worst for him, considering everybody else has got plenty of cash. Especially attacker. Even if they lose this round, Exker can buy himself... Oh no. He can buy himself an AWP and they can drop over the rest of the weapons. I didn't give MVP a whole lot of chance in this, but they've already managed to entry over towards Banana, find themselves 2 opening kills, leave TYLOO into a pretty much a save situation developing already over towards the A-bomb site. And again, it's just going to be one of these rounds that runs the clock down. We've not really seen like any high intensity gameplay so far. There's no serious fights outside of the first round. It's just been slow play. Economy playing a huge role in this game. I think this is something that's a lot different than what we used to see, certainly in the older Counter-Strike iterations where the old economy system was in play. Players would go for fights a lot more often, which is almost counterintuitive. Because you'd imagine now, because you're not going to be reset so heavily, I suppose because you can't reset the other team, it's not as worthwhile going for the fights. 4-4 tied up. So there's a couple weaker weapons in play over in the MVP side. You've got a Mac 10 for Zeph. Does he want to upgrade it? There's an M4 floating around, but I think he's... Let's look at the Mac 10 in front of him. Picks an AK as he's running out of spawn. TYLOO, obviously with the full investment, like we said, you can still get yourself the AWP in play. Everybody else on the weaker weapons. Yeah, AUGs, the M4s, not quite as strong. Oh no, somebody... This is something we commended him for on Inferno last time they played against Boot. His aggression was really well timed. Well, this is just like straight up pushing. He's done it twice now where he's peeked while the player was trapped inside a Molotov. Now he's just running straight down Banana, lit up low HP, and continues to hold W. And whilst that can work from time to time, it's probably not going to work up against a team that, have you figured out, are playing it a lot more passive in general early round, unless they've got the weaker weapons. So they'll be ready for you to push on down. Like MVP on Mirage, think of their T side. How long did they spend spread out in defaults, just holding down, waiting for pushes to come in? Now it's granted to them because TYLOO were maybe not thinking about their aggression as much. Smoke down in CT means Bentet's all alone. 2 kills on the board. Flash goes over as well. Attacker's able to peek out and pick up HSK. And now all of a sudden MVP are behind in the round. The bombs drop towards CT. 1 kill goes in. Staxo's going to try and find another. But Bentet's still alive with an M4. Peeks out. Catches Sign. He's looking for even more and the headshot connected. This is dangerous. A 1v1, but Staxo needs only 1 bullet to be taken down as he pushes forward. Summer just needs to spam 1 bullet through. An AWP picked up, though. This could make it very dangerous! And the quick scope from Staxo gets the round. 5-4. MVP walk away with the victory in what was definitely a very close round. Staxo on 10 HP. The switch to the op saved his life. And now TYLOO calling themselves in a... No, actually, MVP called a tactical timeout. I assumed this would be TYLOO. Coordinating their buy, making sure that they're going to be holding down in a formation that they feel happy with. But no, MVP are the ones calling it. They have an open play on Zeta. But I suppose it came so close in the previous round that they probably do want to just talk about it a little bit and figure out how they ended up in that situation, because they were 5v3 at one point. Remember, this is MVP's map pick as well, and the fact that they've got 5 rounds on the board already on the T side looks really good for them. 5 out of 9. And if they win this one, TYLOO again will be forced over to a very, very low buy. Probably just the full eco. Probably a few pistols at best, but I don't think they'd even be able to get the armor out if they want to have a reasonable buy later on. The tree position's so dangerous with the nades going down. HSK is down on low HP. Zeph on 55 as well. MVP have got it all to work for. Behind by a little bit in the damage early round, but not looking too bad. Considering the rounds they've got on the board, they've still got an AWP up as well. It can pull this back, find themselves an opening kill. HSK is going to start making his way towards A. MVP, one of the things we said about them was that they kind of lacked direction on their T side over in the previous map a lot of the time. Now that seems to be fixing a little bit on Inferno. It's a much more narrow and linear map. Oh, we got to be careful for Bentet. He's able to pick himself up one. And over towards the A bomb side, actually, Sign goes down without a trade. So at least TYLOO are back down to a 3v3, but it still does leave MVP in a better position, all things considered. Summer comes in, picks up Staxo, and now never mind. MVP definitely not in the better spot. Even with low HP on Excurate, he can, well, I wouldn't say very easily, but he could definitely be traded out. Smoke towards Banana, isolates just one player on the bomb site. It's all on HSK, 43 HP as well. Towards the back, he picks up one. He swings out, though, by the Molotov, forced him into the open. Left him in a very awkward spot, and now it's Zeta attempting to pull this off. That bomb is being defused. I don't think he's going to be able to get the shots. He probably thinks that's the diffuser as well. That's very awkward as Summer gets it all the way. And 5-5, eventually he's taken down, but it doesn't matter. Defuse is already on the board. And MVP walk away with what could have been a round win because of one smoke going over towards Banana, and indeed maybe a little bit of miscommunication on where the bomb was planted. Because he seemed to be spamming for it being over towards Coffins instead of it being over Fountain side. (5-5) MVP, AWP in play. They've got a Galil as well, having to be bought out to allow smoke and some grenades to be in play for Zeph. They're still in a decent position, though. Having eliminated all the CT players in the previous round, they're in the same spot as they were in the last round, where if they manage to destroy TYLOO in this round, they'll probably be up to 7. As you'd imagine, then it will be a save. An eco in the next round for TYLOO. MVP again going to look over towards the B bomb site. The solo defender is bent at right now, and he's not really the right one to be holding. He's only got a UMP, but I like this. He's pixel peeking it, but there's the problem. If they boost over the wall, you're not going to get time to throw that grenade and retreat. This is good, though. This is going to do quite a bit of damage, I think. Indeed, Zeph and Sign both take 50 from it. A very nice nade. And as the push comes down middle, 1-for-1 trades do come in straight away, but do they suspect more players to already be here? As you can see right now, TYLOO have already got aggressive mid-control. They know that this is going to be a B hit. Or that at least they'll have to rotate back and face attacker. As the peek comes in, somebody's ready for this. Pushing through the smoke. He does it all the time, but this time, only 1 kill on the board for it. Flank coming up, Banana's heard. They know attacker's coming. What a shot by Zeta. Down goes attacker, and it's all on Summer. He's got to break the clouds and bring the blue skies over towards TYLOO. It's not going to be so easy as he gets spotted from on top of yellow. Staxo picks up the final kill of the round. And it's 6-5. MVP coming out with a round that is so important to them because now TYLOO are left over into a position where they have no money. They're actually 3 players double eco. So, yeah, a pause comes through. It's TYLOO on a tactical timeout. I've just checked, and indeed it is. And that makes sense, because now they've got a choice to make. Do they force buy here? Because if they force buy and they lose, they'll have to eco the next one, unless they save over some weapons. And that means that MVP will be almost guaranteed an 8-7 half, at worst. So force buy is super risky, and they've got to come in with confidence that it'll work out, and evidently they found that confidence as the pause is undone. And you're going to see full weaponry coming out for TYLOO as best as they can. Anyways, 3 CZs. You got a 5.7 and a Deagle as well. And those weapons are going to be perfectly viable. We've said it multiple times. Inferno is a map that really does allow you to take advantage of the close range angles. It has the highest force percentage for any map in the CSGO competitive pool on the CT side. But MVP have been pushing together, and this is something that doesn't really feed into a positive for a buy like this. Oh, Summer's able to pick up one on the sign. Just to break the point that I was making, that they generally push together, so that if you find a kill, it will probably be traded out. Well, that's not the case here. As they land one, they fall back without picking up the AK. Which is at least a small positive. And towards the B bomb site, 2 players holding down. One spotted on the bomb itself, but this could be very awkward. They don't know that Bentet is here. Okay, the smoke went down, so they have an idea at this point. But he could have swung out and landed a bit of a trade. Nade going down. Oh, double naded as well. 25 HP left. That doesn't feel too good. 20 on both players on B now. This should be a very easy take. The rotation's not really coming around from TYLOO just yet, and that's very bad because MVP are faking B. They're rotating all the way back around, where an AK is just being retrieved by attacker. He's coming down. Oh no, down the stairs. He's going to catch them off. They're not even checking it as HSK gets dropped. He's trying to bail out of there and actually makes it as well. Summer's got himself a CZ, 1 kill on the board, and it's all onto Zeph. Okay, 3 players are low, but what does that matter? They can play this together, and it doesn't matter when you swing out like that, because they're so spread out. You have to land bullet after bullet. You have to react instantly. I don't think it was even possible to get 3 bullets off that quickly. 6-6. TYLOO actually win their force buy, and it's such a shame because MVP basically had it on lockdown as they went towards the B bomb site. 2 players that were super low HP. They had info on where both of them were, but just because they faked and because of the positions, I also feel like that should have been expected. You know that you dropped an AK in apartments and that you haven't secured it, you haven't resecured it, you haven't dropped it anywhere. So TYLOO have probably pushed forward as soon as they think you're on B and you're trying to sell the fake. Well, if they actually fall for it, they think it's the B bomb site, they start rotating. Well, one guy's going to go, I'll go through apartments, I'll pick up that AK-47, then hold on, no steps on B, well, then he's going to stay in apps, and he's going to try to catch you off. A really awkward spot pulling through as MVP use another timeout. I think that pushes them to they've only 1 left now. Using up a lot of their tactical timeouts. 6-6. Molotov stops any aggression over towards Banana early on. It was smoked off, but another molly goes down, which is a bit of a positive for the T side. They're burning up utility, quite literally. The CT's utility. Going into this round with a hero rifle and a full force, MVP are really trying to get more than just 6 on the board. Already it's decent for them. Anything that they can push it to outside of this will be a big positive for them. Pushing on forward. MVP closed in on the bomb site. Default is dangerous because up close, attacker's able to find himself a kill. And even more to be connected by the looks of it. The spray down is a little bit awkward, but eventually connected onto the jumping player. The CZ going to push up close, a little bit over aggressive. The Stax was able to pick that one up, and he's still on 50 HP. So the chance to win it was certainly there, but unfortunately with only the Mac 10, it's not going to work out too well for him. You had low HP on somebody there after getting headshot by the Mac 10. Had it have been an AK, things could have been a whole lot scarier. But luckily now on 7-6, TYLOO should face a relatively easy round as I don't expect MVP to really buy into anything here. You can see the smallest amount of investment from MVP as they take a little bit of utility. And I'd almost say that the util they've invested on the Zeph is a little bit too much. They're going to try closing the distance on Banana. This could be dangerous. Bentet all alone picks up 2, but he's not able for any more as his teammate goes down as well. Maybe that utility wasn't so poorly invested. As they get to cross over, they're going to get a bomb plant. They've already picked up 2 rifles as well. No armor, unfortunately, but the full-on B rush has worked very well for them. Summer's up close. I don't think he suspects anyone to be above him, but Sign not reacting quickly enough is going to fall. Summer gets a second. And even if this round falls apart, it's still great damage connected by dropping 2 weapons. Problem is the defuse coming through, 3 left alive. I don't think they'll see any reward later on for this because the round win gives Bentet more than enough money to buy. Somebody's able to get dropped over a weapon by Excurate. Excurate has the most money, but actually invests into util and a... Is no one dropping somebody? Oh, there we go. Okay, weapon was on the other side. I couldn't see it. The M4 is going to be dropped over to somebody, so he's got a full buy. So the damage isn't really going to connect anything. But what it does do, allowing the bomb plant to go down, gives MVP the opportunity to close this round out with, or to close this half out with a really strong buy. AK's full util. But already losing a player early on. That nade is pretty good. A little bit too deep as Sign's already pushed up aggressively. Summer was thinking about throwing the nade through as well. Could have been scary. Bomb evidently wants to move towards the A-bomb site. This HSK is going to wrap around and watch for the banana push. And TYLOO have been playing super aggressive, but somebody has already rotated over to A, leaving a little bit of a hole in that plan because Bentet doesn't tend to be the one that goes aggressive. He tends to solo hold B pretty passively. So even if they do believe this is a full A commitment, he'll probably rotate through the CT spawn or indeed just stay there until he's needed. We've seen many times where he's actually like 1v4 because he just doesn't rotate. But it makes them very difficult to fake out because you're always going to see at least one player towards B. In fact, a second as Excurate rotates over, believing it to be an A fake, finds himself a kill to open it up. Sign's shown presence on A, and you're not really selling a fake at this point. You're running into a standard 2-3 defense, but you're spread out. You've got players pushing B, now one on middle. It's so staggered, really. You're better off just pushing as a unit. The timing just isn't there. Oh, that's a little bit awkward inside the smoke. Attackers spinning away, spamming away, not able to find anything. Excurate lands the final kill and puts it 9-6. A decent CT side coming through from TYLOO on a map that isn't their pick, up against MVP, who obviously picked this map. So you're imagining they're going to be pretty comfortable, all things considered. 6 rounds could have been a whole lot worse for TYLOO. Especially if you take into consideration the fact that it started out so well for MVP. They were, what, 5-4 at one point? They'd found 5 out of 9 rounds, I remember saying. So, if you're looking at a situation like that, and then you only let that team finish with 6 rounds, that's really strong from TYLOO, and definitely the best that they've looked so far, I think, in this series, making that kind of a comeback and keeping themselves in it. Remember, they need to win Inferno, Overpass, and Dust. If they lose even one of the next 3 maps, they're already out. Their chances of following through with an ESL 1 Cologne spot dissipate into 0. This is still the warm-up, just so you know. We're going to swing out to here so we can see them exiting spawn whenever it's started and readied up for the pistol round. The way ESEA works is on the halftime, you get a little bit of time to chill out, and whenever you all ready up, you jump into it. So right now, everybody's readied up, and we're ready to ready up and ready and go and ready. I feel like I need to say ready a couple more times. So far, it's been a pretty decent position as well from Summer. I feel like he's really stepped it up in this series versus the previous one. Can't see the kills right now, but just in terms of impact, I feel like I'm seeing him a lot more than what we saw before. Staxo as well over on MVP. Push coming through from MVP, or from TYLOO. I'm so used to MVP being on the T side. We have got a little bit of aggression from MVP towards apartments, and really interesting that they've decided to put nobody else towards A in any position. The one player that's towards the A bomb site on the T side pushes through apartments, which doesn't look too good for them. Runs right into 2 players, and now they decide to fully commit towards B. Sadly, it's a 3-man stack, and this is a really interesting setup from MVP. It might just work out as they find one opening kill. They may assume the bomb site to even be clear at this point, but they spot one more towards dark. Surely they think that's it, but HSK keeps on fragging. He catches one up behind him inside the smoke. Is somebody bringing it into a 2 versus 1. And despite MVP having a certainly unique setup, they're not looking too good now as Bentet finds one more kill, leaves Sign all alone, 1 versus 3, but hold on, he's picked up a headshot on somebody. Bentet goes down on low, and it's all onto Attacker towards the back of the bomb site. I think he's just about caught the angle, knows he's coming, but Sign still hits the shot, and he has time for the defuse, plenty of it. Oh no. The disrespect is blatant as he goes over to his fallen enemy. Don't do it. Oh, yes. The shake in the head. I love it. Don't try that with me, he says. 9-7. Shaking their head in shame. MVP have found themselves another round on the board. And a pause is going to come through. This time, it's a tactical. A tactical coming through for TYLOO. Evidently want to have a little bit of a chat about what's just happened. But I don't think it's going to be too fruitful. Really, they want to figure out how they're investing their economy and where they're taking things. Is it going to be a fast B rush with a little bit of utility, smokes to stop the Molotovs, and pistols with a little bit of armor as well? Or are they going to full eco with just P250s in play? Try for picks? They have a lot of opportunities, a lot of choices. They just got to figure out what their favorite one is. It's like picking the sweets at the cinema. Or you could just bring your own and not pay the premium prices that they charge at cinemas for sweets. Or you can just not eat sweets. That would also be another alternative, but I mean, who's got time for that? So they opted to go for a fairly weak investment. Just a couple of pistols. Couple of pistols, small pieces of utility as well to come through. HSK catches somebody trying to push through the smoke. He's a big fan of pushing smokes. I think somebody has pushed more smokes than everybody else combined throughout this qualifier that we've had on the mainstream. And that's in the last 2 games alone. Sign hasn't been spotted, a position that was actually played quite frequently by TYLOO. They don't pre-fire it, they leave it a little bit unchecked. As push comes down, push comes to shove, and MVP shove themselves into another round without losing a weapon. And really the objective there for TYLOO was to drop a weapon to make sure the MVP economy doesn't get stacked. Sadly, it may be a little bit too late for that, as they come into this playing it as a bonus round. But the upside is that they've got majority SMGs. They literally... Okay, well, an upgrade comes in from Sign to give them an M4, a FAMAS, an AWP, and 2 UMPs. Yeah, I kind of agree with the upgrade, especially because it's Inferno. If he's a weaker weapon later on, it's not going to be too big of a deal. You're in the Molotov there, execute. Smoke eventually goes down, but Benton's been dropped by the AWP. Sign already getting aggressive down middle, spotted the bomb. Knows there's another player towards Banana as he pushes forward. Execute returns on it, and the flashbang from his teammate costs him his life. That's going to be a little bit of a tilt factor. Execute continues to frag. Oh no. 1 team flash, and Execute's able to be given 2 kills. Going down towards picking up the bomb. They're going to try to rotate towards the A bomb site. Even through second, they've played a lot safer. This round was looking fantastic for MVP, but TYLOO have pulled it back. Not even TYLOO, just Execute, but hold on. As he crosses over, he's in danger. Luckily, HSK is actually dispatched as Attacker comes down middle. This round has just descended into chaos. Zeta has to go for a save. And so well played by TYLOO, and just by Execute there in general. One big mistake by MVP, and it is capitalized on tenfold. With a bomb plant and a round secured. As Zeta tries to save this AWP as well, it would be very helpful because like Sign's going to be pretty low on money in the next round, Zeph as well. So that AWP could definitely swing the balance over into their favor a little bit. Problem is, he is being flanked out as we speak. Attacker's making his way up behind him. the bomb about to explode. He is going to have to rush in here eventually and probably give away his position. Zeta's exposed to this angle, though, and taken down with just less than a second left. He's eliminated. That is disappointing. 10-8. I feel like at that point he could definitely just have hit up behind the back sandbags, the back left ones. At least then you're kind of talking about one angle. When you're looking over towards the doorway, they can only really peek you from one way. (10-8). TYLOO have started to reclaim the lead a little bit as MVP go in here with a half investment again. 2 FAMAS coming out alongside pistols. What's Zeta got? Okay, he's got the AWP out. HSK drops that over, and he has no armor. Just a P250 to play with on the back of that. What a selfless guy. Nades go down. Zeta's the first to open it up with the AWP, but very quickly traded onto the banana aggression and a shutdown of the CT side. They may have the opening kill, but they definitely don't have the advantage. As the CT side are massively behind, the AWP is heard over towards short. Obviously, after finding the kill earlier on, they now know where it is. And with money in the bank not looking too great, TYLOO can't afford to lose too many more weapons. So they have a choice to make. What's more important to them, having the strong weapons out, or them stopping MVP from saving? And considering the economic situation for MVP, I think stopping them from saving is probably going to be more important, because then you take any chance of them getting the next round on the board completely out of the game. Staxo spots Summer coming out of apartments, though, and this could be a little bit awkward now. With the head peak angles in Staxo's favor, you don't really want to be taking these fights, especially because you don't want to lose too many more weapons. And TYLOO make the right decision after losing their opening player to just back on off, play that a little bit more passive, and give over an 11th to TYLOO, allowing them to save over their weapons. That's perfectly fine. On the MVP side, what do they want to do with an AWP and a FAMAS? I think they're probably right to not buy up at all. 1900 on 2 players, 2000 on another. But really here we want to see the AWP have either some impact or be saved over to the next round. You're seeing the AWP and the FAMAS both play on the A bomb side. And I think that's definitely by design, so that if B gets taken, they can save these weapons. And if not, they might have some impact as the push comes forward. So the mid push is currently being watched by Zeta, peeking out every now and then to make sure nobody comes through the doorway. But as that smoke goes down, that should force Staxo back a little bit, because he's in a very exposed situation. They come down. They've not checked him, though. He's able to get away with 1 kill. Picks up another as they jump down. This is winnable. If the AWP can find a pick. But smoked out. Zeta's unable to support his teammate or get the trade. And even with a man advantage in this situation, MVP will find it very difficult to get back in. I think in this situation, MVP, or Zeta in particular, plays a little bit more passive, allows the pistols to entry, and if they find a kill, then you go for it. He's going to play support, drop a flashbang in, and see what the pistols can do. Here they come, rushing on out to see what damage can be done. Picked up AKs, but nothing to be connected, and Zeta makes it out of there, but only barely. Dodging a few AK bullets as he goes down towards the bottom and middle. Oh, Excurate misses the jump around the corner, so he will escape. Zeta escapes towards Banana. Is that really an escape, though? Because a push comes around from Bented, who's dropped. Economic damage doesn't really matter towards the terrorist side. They're now on 12 rounds, rather, and they've got plenty of money built up. Weapons also being a little bit cheaper, and the ability to get the bomb plants in the rounds they win gives them a little bit of a boost to economy as time goes on. But MVP PK feel the sting of losing weapons much more heavily. There is an AWP on the floor for Zeta. You're going to see a FAMAS on Zeph, and Sign could take an M4, but again, util's very important on Inferno, so I think it's probably going to be a FAMAS alongside utility as well. He goes for the M4. Just put on the floor for him, dropped over. Didn't spot that a little bit earlier, so he's able to get util in the kit, that's fine. Utility. The TYLOO at this point, fully stacked up. They've got their AKs, and they're going to push over towards the A bomb site. Staxo holding down the pit. He's going to try to get the damage done. Sign's caught one off guard at least, and he goes over towards the pit, not finding it, but they don't yet know that Staxo's here. Oh, he shoots off too early, so they're aware of it. An MVP look worse for wear. 2 weapons in play. I don't know what they do here. I think it's just time to bail on out of there. Oh, Staxo had the position. They weren't checking him. He had everything in his court, and then he shoots to try and catch the player going back into apartments. That's going to be 12-8. Turning into 13-8. TYLOO closing in on the victory. That was a weird scoreboard switch. Closing in on the victory slowly but surely on a map that they really need to find. I mean, if they're going to take this grand final, like I said, they have to win the next 3 maps in a row. 2 of which, including this one, are MVP's map pick. Only a 5-round gap as well, but MVP just keep on finding themselves with no money or no real strong buy. So what they're going to do here, they've taken themselves an AWP, a FAMAS, and everybody else just on a couple of pistols. So MVP at this point, they're not in a terrible position because they've got the 2 saved over weapons. In the next round, they're able to find themselves a really strong buy, full utility, op coming out as well. But for now, this is where things get a little bit more difficult. You have got a few pistols in play, so definitely an opportunity to connect the round. But TYLOO've got those AKs. They've got the util to work with. They're pushing out. Flashbangs don't go down too early. Okay, 2 for 2 trades. It's not too bad. TYLOO look a little bit better here. Zeta picks up one with the AWP, though, and puts it over into a 2v3. TYLOO in a fairly even position at this point. They've got time to set up for post plans. But if MVP can find 1-for-1 trades here, they've got the round in the bag already. Swinging out towards long. They're going to be thrown over a flashbang. HSK is going to land that while everybody else pushes on through the smoke. Here we go. Push coming down very quickly towards the bomb site. Clearing absolutely everything out. Great angle by Zeta with the AWP to land 1. He suspects the last player to be there, but Benset's still able to find that. A great clutch player for TYLOO, and he's already got 2. There's a 3rd. What a clutch by Benset. 4 on the board. Wins the 1v3. Had a pick earlier on. And it's 14-8. That's the map almost secure for TYLOO. But you got to remember, that was a little bit of a half buy from MVP, and they still made it super competitive. Now they come into this with a full buy. Their last opportunity to stop TYLOO. If they don't do it here, they won't do it at all, as TYLOO would be on 15 rounds with no money left in the bank for MVP. Benset has been huge in the clutches throughout this tournament. He gets taken down early on to start things off. HSK again dying to a Molotov. This guy does not like fire. Putting us into a 4v4, and that trade is just fine for the T side. The swings out towards Banana, sees 1-for-1 trades absolutely everywhere, but finishing off with Sign, finding 1, and there's in with a 2nd to at least secure the round for MVP and put it over into a little bit more of an opportunity for MVP to walk away with the victory. The thing is, though, TYLOO are on the verge of closing this out. And going for a force buy here, I'm not a big fan of. You've plenty of rounds to play with. All you have to do is take a couple pistols and armor, rush towards the bomb site, try get damage done, try get some kills, and then play the full buy afterwards where everybody has the AKs. Considering how the previous round went when they had the full AKs coming out, you definitely don't want people on weaker weapons. But even with that, the tactical pause comes in. TYLOO looking to close this. I mean, we've seen this from them before. We've seen them be so close to a victory and then lose a map. It was in the overtime last time. And we're jumping on in. TYLOO feel they're ready. They've got their AKs. They've got their nades. It's MVP. Made down towards the bottom of middle. Shouldn't receive too much of a reward. TYLOO going for something a little bit different this time. Leaving the bomb towards the ramp. And starting to push over towards second mid. Coming in through the apartments. Somebody, oh, through the smoke. He just loves smokes! And he takes Zeph down. He was trying to take the exact same position, but just a little bit too late on the way there. Although somebody's low HP, still an advantage for the T side. TYLOO start to make their way onto A. Staxo has spotted one coming up short. An attacker wasn't ready for the swing to come out, losing his life. It's going to be traded for Sign at least. Somebody who was low HP towards the bottom of Banana finds another frag and pushes it into a 4v2. This is where MVP should really struggle to close it out. They have one player on Banana. Zeta not able to find anything. Staxo on the bomb site doesn't know what's going on, but he hears the smoke quenching the Molotov. Knows now that there's at least some players towards A. The smoke in library confirms it as he's going to swing out to do even more damage, but again, not connecting a kill. Two players are low. He could... If he found those two players on long, that would have been a very winnable situation for MVP, but now it starts to look incredibly unlikely. With Zeta being a 1v4. TYLOO 14 rounds on the board, about to be 15 because he's saving over the AWP. And MVP aren't going to have a lot to work with for the next round either. They'll have to win 6 in a row to get us to an overtime. And even at that, reaching an overtime doesn't guarantee anything. TYLOO could still take it in OT. So it's a long road ahead of MVP to come back into this. They know that they've got 2 more maps ahead of them though. So they definitely will still have the confidence in there. They need to win 1 out of 2. Zeta picks the opening kill of the save. And if he just hides at this point, he'll carry it forward. I don't know why he's trying to take guns away, because TYLOO have a fine economy already built up. And with the damage done in that round, TYLOO already have to reinvest. So 1 extra kill definitely wouldn't be worth losing the AWP for. TYLOO over towards Banana. Oh no, Zeta is just standing there getting spammed down. Eventually manages to dodge the bullets. But still, Zeta, AWP in hand, finds one onto Summer. TYLOO trading it back. That's fine for them. They're happy to bring it into a 4 versus 4. Zeta again with another kill, but he's on 1 HP. He could die by jumping into the pit. Sitting on top of that smoke probably isn't going to be expected. It's a pretty hard angle to even spot him as he comes around. The push coming out. Oh, it actually doesn't. Okay, I thought Bentet was about to go through the smoke, but he decides not to, waiting for Util to come in from his teammates. The flash doesn't go, but either way, still doing all the damage. Kill on the board for Zetas on 3. He's looking for an ace on 1 HP. Bomb going to be planted as TYLOO are just inches away from finding the victory here. Excurate and somebody in the post plant's very interesting. Excurate takes pit, but an aggressive stance from somebody. If he gets dropped here, that could be a very devastating position for the T's to recover from. Luckily, he bails over towards the bomb site. He's going to play with his teammate. Nade's being thrown over. Flashbang allows them to push on forward. 1-for-1 trades. It's all onto Xcurity sitting inside a Molotov, being burnt alive. Still going to be safe behind that wall, though. And with the defuse being tapped, he finds the kill. Zeta has to pick it up at 1 HP. And Xcurit's got the angle watched, finds the frag. Wallbang to finish it off. And TYLOO, they've at least picked up one.